4.34 begins with what looks like it could be one long ablative chunk. Obviously, we're going to analyze that a little closer and see, okay, quibus rebus is plural, and it's one noun, rebus, and then our guys is another noun, and they're being described by perturbatis. So at least two different ablatives just right there. Novitate pugnae looks like its own, it's singular, so it's its own noun. In the ablative case, pugnae is just a genitive going with it. And then tempore opportunissimo is another ablative, and just glancing at what that is, it's got the word tempus in it, so that's probably that kind of ablative, right? And quibus rebus looks like it's an ablative because of perturbatis, disturbed by, so this is going to be an ablative of means, right? This is a parenthetical thing, like telling us what those rebuses were, specifically the novitate of pugnae. So that's also that kind of ablative. And perturbatis nostris, since this is people in the ablative case, we go, wait, it might not actually be ablative at all, it might be dative, and as I read the rest of the main clause, it is dative, because our subject is Caesar and our verb is tulit, right? So Caesar tulit auxilium to, right? This must be dative. To nostris, having been perturbatis quibus rebus, namely the novitate pugnae, at a tempore opportunissimo. Right? So looks like a lot of ablative at the beginning. That is normal. We analyze it. We've got it. We've got a lot of ablative. None of it's an ablative absolute, and one of it's actually a dative. Okay, so we keep going. Namque really just the same as nam. For, and we look eus ad ventu hoste, right? Normal clause. The hoste is subject, constituerunt verb. Basically, could have a semicolon here. New subject, nostri, verb, recaperunt. So two different things happen. For eus ad ventu, this is ablative, we'll say at his ad ventu, at his arrival, the hostes constituerunt. Our guys say recaperunt, literally recovered themselves, but we can just say recovered ex timore. Quo facto is an ablative absolute with which, having been factoed, ad lacescendum hostum, gerundive, et committendum proelium, gerundum. Those are both accusatives because of ad, so ad this and ad that. Esse tempus, looks like we are in an indirect statement, right? Esse tempus, and that indirect statement with this accusative and this infinitive is because of arbitratus. Having thought, Caesar, having thought that tempus esse, it was tempus for lacescendum in hostum and committendum in proelium alienum. So having thought that, tempus, alienum is probably describing tempus. That's going to make more sense. It initially looks like it might be going with proelium, but it'll make more sense with tempus. So alienum esse tempus. Having thought that, he continuated se, right? Se is our object. Suo loco. Et brevi tempore intermisso. Oh, okay, that's an ablative absolute. Incastra legiones is our object. Reduxit. Okay, so having thought all this stuff, he continuated and he reduxited the legiones in castra. Dum haec gerunter, so temporal clause, or circumstantial clause, noun or indicative, while haec are being geruntered. Nostris omnibus occupatis, could be dative, could be an ablative absolute. And since I look at the rest of the sentence and I don't see a reason for it to be a dative, it is going to be just an ablative absolute, noun, a participle in the ablative case. With omnibus nostris having been occupatis, qui erat in agris,
and then it looks like it might end in agri, so then I'm like, oh, reliqui probably goes with the erant. So, and anytime I have a form of sum, I'm going to link to probably what looks like another nominative. So, qui erant in agris reliqui is actually the main, it is a relative clause, but it's also like those who, reliqui erant in agris, they discesse runted. Secutai sunt is a indicative verb, so that's the main verb of the sentence. Continuos cum plures dies, that's accusative, and it's time, so I know it's accusative of extent of time, and my subject is tempestates secutai sunt. Tempestates, which et nostros in castris continerent, verb, et hostem apugna prohiberent, verb, did two things. Storms, which continerented, one object, and prohiberented, another object. Nice parallel structure there. And qua is the subject of that relative clause. Interim, the barbari, subject, nuntios, object, in omnes partes demiserunt, verb, and paucitatem nostrorum militum suis praedica verunt, right? That and is connecting demiserunt and praedica verunt. Et, maybe it looks like it's connecting to another erunt verb. Where is it? What I get before I get the next erunt verb is a Q word, and then a subjunctive verb. Darreter. So that's not the verb I'm looking for. I'm looking for another erunt verb, and it's here. Demonstra verunt. Actually, I see another conjunction through a subjunctive verb as well. So I've got a couple of subordinate clauses that go with demonstra verunt. Right. So meanwhile, the barbarios demiserunted nuntios, and they praedica verunted the paucitatem of nostrorum militum, putting those genitives with the noun closest to them, suis, dative case, to their guys, and they demonstra verunted how much, or what a great amount of praedai faciendi, and so the one subject is quanta of praedai faciendi and of sui liberandi in perpetuum, and quanta is actually describing facultas, and quanta facultas is the subject of darreter. So they demonstra verunted how great a facultas of praedai faciendi and of sui liberandi in perpetuum was being darretered if they expulicented the Romanos ablative from their castries. His rebus, by these means is probably the best way to translate it, and it also indicates what kind of ablative it is. But we'll keep looking at celeriter. Magna multitudine. Magna is probably ablative, going with magnitudine. Peditatus looks like it could be nominative, and so does equitatus, but since it's right next to a multitude, I'm actually going to assume those are genitive. And then coacta looks like a participle in the ablative case. So coacta is actually going with a magnum multitudine, having been coacted, and that multitudine is of peditatus and equitatus. So this whole thing is an ablative absolute. By means of these things, or by these means, with a magnum multitudine of peditatus and equitatus having been coacted by these means, right, celeriter, they, main clause, ad castra, when erunt. The last thing that the barbari are the subject of all of these erunted at the end of the story here.